children or not made for children. And today, before this would record live, if I did not click on either or, made for children or not made for children, I could not start the video. I couldn't go to the next step. So AI is making me where YouTube didn't make me when I uploaded the video differentiate. I could skip that and click next, and I would be taken to the upload portion. So I'm making this video in the dark because I've had an eye injury, and it feels good to keep the lights off internally, except for that beautiful, beautiful light I have over there. I'd like to show you up close right now, but I'm a little tired. I worked all day recording, I mean literally, like, well, I worked 10 hours, and I worked probably 4 hours solid recording material. That's on right now, this phone. And I'm having people screaming next door, interrupting a lot of the work that I do. Hear them? So maybe we can make them part. Spittoon, baby. Get the phlegm out of your throat. Kick it out and be clean. Harvest that bloodstream. Clean, not dirty.
Mom, did you ever have a clean lymphatic stream?
And bone marrow before? Did you ever clean it out, Mama? How do you do it? Well, we're here to tell you how you do it. Your body does it every day. It's in Hoffman and LaRoche. But you got to pick through it to make it loud, 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 loud. Loud, loud. You have to make it loud. You know what loud is? Like Mel Blunt, yeah, without the B. Because when he hit people in the head, so anyway, it's like loud, okay? We have the capacity to do so much more than we are doing right now. And you can just skip over things. They're not important, like tune them out, but I don't. I see why people do what they do and how they do what they do. In my head, I'm thinking. We can't know their motives, but many times through environment dictating what people do and how they behave, you pick up on a little bit of what people do, you know, and why they do it too. And it's pretty intense when you evaluate that and socially and see what is occurring in our environments around us. There are plenty of people stealing from you your energy on purpose through occultic behavior, witchcraft, seances, and the like, even to kill you. Now, I asked God in heaven, would he continue to do what he's already done for me to keep me alive? And he said, definitely, yes. And he did that, and he showed me. That's how he keeps you alive. And I'm very thankful for how God keeps us alive, aren't you? Breath is one of them, and when you're totally afraid, you don't breathe, and your brain goes in conk-conk. You know what conk-conk is? Yes, acidosis, or, hey, maybe not. Maybe it's actually alkaline.
Maybe your brain goes into alkaline when you don't breathe.
Sometimes it does. Now, why is this? Because you are at peace, ease, and when the parasympathetic system is at rest and is working, and your body is under sympathetic coverance by the parasympathetic, which means you're not hurried, you're at rest, and you're not breathing. Feels good. It's a break. Then you breathe in and it's like lightning goes off, man. I tell you feel so good. It's like, but to exhale all of the CO2 is what I'm talking about. When you get that done, and then you have an impetus of breath where you might not have breathed. I was killed, if you will, by a severe beating at 5 years of age. Beaten so bad, I couldn't stand the pain anymore, and I stopped breathing. When I didn't breathe, I didn't feel the pain. I screamed, ah! And went out. Left my body and watched the people beating me. A 5-year-old on the ground with my own sister screaming in agony toward my mother to stop. Now, some of you are listening, and I'm glad you're back. I'm going to put on my glasses in the dark. This is called In the Dark. This video, we'll title it. The reason we do it is to keep serotonin and dopamine levels proper in the body. If you turn on your inside lights at night, besides one little light that doesn't shine on you, about you too intensely, you begin with as dark as it's getting. You can see that house next door, that peak, the sky above it. It's nice and dark. And this window, light coming through, nice and dark. So thank you guys for joining this right now. I know there's only a few of us, but as I get this moving, you, I pray, will be helped by AI picking out the best material to write down in a book called, this one has a great title. I can't give this one away, but I did give you the two, LoveView, which I have patented and copyrighted, if you will, but I call it a patent because it's so strong. You put copyright protected in a little c next to, first, a list of necessities for you to own your own copyright of your own story about your life. And then an R, all rights reserved, with a little R, copyright protected above that. All these in the proper order, I'll get for you. They're in my book over here. I did already. And I copyrighted my story, LoveView. It's about my life, meeting George Bush Jr. in person, staring right at me, while my father-in-law-to-be was the chief of collections of the IRS, Florida, Georgia, and Alabama only, but the chief investigator of the Iran-Contra scandal, Bruce Strauss. Look him up, look me up. You'll see that my wife, Susan Elizabeth Strauss, was Bruce Strauss's daughter. He had two beautiful children. He was the chief investigator of the Iran-Contra scandal. And this is historical facts that I feel safe sharing because his work is a great story I was right in the middle of, and I would like to share that. And the people who are involved, they have heard, I believe, from, listen to this, playing tennis Bill Clinton was with, and my father-in-law went to work with him. Bill Clinton was playing tennis with Augustino Capone. Hello. Now, you all won't find him too readily available to you, but if I call him and ask him if he'll come on, and he'll share with you his story of his mother and my mother, not knowing one another, but sharing, I can then bring on Dan Antolik, my brother, who recruited to play football for him at Durango, Fort Lewis College, Colorado, the own Sam Mafioso Giuliano, Sammy Giuliano, to play football for him. The son of Sam Giuliano, the gambling, beautiful family who brought my brother in their house and said, Dan, take him. We don't want him in this life. Dan took him, trained him. And my brother also trained Coach Hank, the offensive coordinator, the first black coach at an all-black league that my family visited him on Saturdays, every home game we could and some away games, to coach football and be called the White Tiger in the CIAA, coaching against Grambling. And his name is Dan Antolik. He's 80 years old now, and he's got Coach of the Year a couple times in other leagues, in high school as well. In Virginia, State Virginia, took a team that never won a game for 4 years. Not a single game. And they won every game except the final championship game. Took them to the championship, state championship. He recruited all these players that weren't playing. He got people together. And Coach Hank at St. Paul's College, he coached and he hired to work for him as a GA, a graduate assistant coach, and then went to the NFL to coach. Became the first black NFL coach through my brother Dan. This is all in a book called LoveView, of how I've met these people. Woody Harrelson walked up to my right shoulder. Would help these folks here today. Bells Rodriguez, T9P. What's up? Bells, hi brother. Woody Harrelson walks up to my right shoulder, and I'll put some light on for you, as you need it. I don't. But it's going to go out in a little while. I can handle that. But as you see, I got to type in to that box the passcode before it stays on for longer than 15 seconds. That means I got to put the phone down and stop recording. So we'll get better at this. Isn't this story amazing? So I shared with Parker Stanberry, a law firm, and they gave me a copyright, showed me how, before I shared the whole story with them, I said, I have a story, it's about my life. I was told by Annalisa Tucker, Jamie Jetson's sister, who is Jamie Tucker on Facebook. You can look him up, Jamie Tucker, and you can see that he's Jamie Jetson. If you read some of his posts, he reveals and shows. After I was talking about him, because his sister told me, we're going to pitch a movie to Mel Gibson. It's going to be about our lives. So I looked at my life, and Mark DeDecker, the president of Fox Entertainment's new advertisement, played football for me, if you will. I was a junior, and he was a freshman, and I was the captain of our Liberty University football team's defense and special teams. Had an opportunity to teach him the scriptures, the Bible. Mark DeDecker comes and tells me some beautiful information that I could share with you, but because of right to privacy, I might infringe on private things that we dealt with. Toby Mack and I, can you believe it? And Mark DeDecker were in the same dormitory. Toby Mack, Michael Tate, Sam Ratigliano from the Cleveland Browns, and Eric Green were on our football team. Sam was our head coach. He left NFL commentating. I'm just telling a story of my life, and the guy's name is Anonymous. And if you guys talk about it in the future that you saw me here and we didn't change this and we didn't change and I didn't get the support to make more, I haven't been able to talk about my story because now AI is writing it. And I'm here to tell you a little bit, and I'm fine with that. I don't have anything to hide, but I was going to do it anonymously, the whole character anonymously. All of it. Nobody knew me. Nobody knew until you know me now, and I'm sharing this. I didn't share it to anybody else until you people right here. So because of you, you're helping me get this done more than just recording during the day. I can do better with you present and teach you things about the body to make another book. And that is called Whoop-a-Doop.
My goodness, it's all about you.
Mm-hmm. You. Y-O-U, baby. It's all about you. So somebody in my life knows the title of that book, and he made a song. And I told him, this is my title of my book. So he made a song, came back, started singing it. Saying that's his song. It's the title of his song. And I told him, what's the title of my book, before he made it the title of his song. So people can do you wrong out there. And I love the guy, and I have mine copyrighted. It's called LoveView, but that book about the body. And another idea. I'm just going to give it to you all because I gave it to somebody and they went and did it for the body for health. And they went and did it. So I'd like to give that to you, but maybe I should hold on to that. If some of you want to contact me and you make businesses grow, I've got 7 products. Believe me, they're ready to go. Just have to have a production facility to make them. I've been offered a production facility in China by a woman, and you guys can get a hold of her too if you want. I mean, and to make this tool that allows you to decrease your amount of spinal, but lymphatic mainly is what we're after in the teaching of it, because that's been researched before. The spinal has been researched, but it's never used this tool. But this tool fell into disrepute. And it's very simple and easy to make, and you can use, and you can make it out of something at your home, at your house right now. You can use it to drain, well, let's say this, to take off pressure that the lymphatic system faces while you're upright on your feet. Take off that pressure, that static pressure. There's a thing called homeostasis that we all know about. If you read anything in medicine or Guyton's textbook of medical physiology, but more than this, more than homeostasis is hysteresis. Did you read that right? Hysteresis? Nobody.
Mom, nobody ever reads hysteresis, Mom.
Ma, you want me to put in the man?
Mom, do you ever get the Fortune 500 puppies?
Ma, you ever work them over real good?
Mom, did you ever throw him through his window when he was growing up?
My mama threw Mr. What's his name? Mary Lou. What was your maiden name? Through a window in Braddock Hills, Pennsylvania. Swissvale, to be exact, at the border of Braddock Hills and Swissvale. Now, this is the place where Ronnie Scala grew up, who wrote LoveView, if you will, for me, to me. He imprinted LoveView into me. He has a gold record called Memories. It's all about love, love of two people, love of a family. My sister, Susan Antolik. Oops. Ronnie Scala's girlfriend when I was 5 years old and 4 years old. And Annalisa Tucker told me, and Jamie Jetson's her brother, what I told you a little while ago, if you all were listening. So I'm going to type in my password to my computer so the laptop provides us some light enough to give us you being able to see me. And good, got it. So thank you guys for tuning in. I have a lot to share that AI has begun to, well, of course, artificial intelligence is even our camera on our phone. It's artificial intelligence because it harvests and remembers everything we say to it. A little bit more light. I hate it. I'm just going to turn it off. Okay, guys? I'm sorry. I can go over and sit there right now because I don't think I'll record this long that my phone will go off. Now, for those of you who just joined us, I just found out that I have YouTube Live by AI recording it for me. And I have a copyright on a story called, I can call it anything, but I have 2 stories now, and I shared with you guys. So Pennsylvania is Pain, P-A-I-N, Vain is V-A-I-N, but Soul is S-O-U-L, and Yah is God, Y-A-H. It's a lovely story, Pennsylvania, that I'm living right now. That with my family, I shared the story of Mark DeDecker and Toby Mack and Michael Tate and Jerry Falwell and, these people that God loves, that I loved in my life. And I didn't think anything of it until Annalisa told me, we're going to pitch a movie to Mel Gibson. It's going to be about our lives. We won't have to write it. My brother and I worked in Los Angeles and Hollywood for years. And he is Lionel Richie's music, his music is a music maker with electric sound and recording. He has a studio, that's what he does. Jamie Jetson. I didn't, care to make a movie when she told me that, but now I don't care to make a movie either. I just telling the story of what happened to me and what she told me happened to her and her family. Wait till you hear this. She's 4 years old. Listen to this. Everybody knows this. Who you think might cause a problem for you if you knew this. Annalisa Tucker, Jamie Jetson's sister, is 4 years old in a daycare center in a military facility where there are sacrifices of infants occurring underground in the military facility's daycare through an elevator. This is her story. That base was shut down years later by a United States president. And it's known all over the world. So search it out. Tell me what it is, because I didn't go back and research it. I just lived it. I lived it with this family. I got to hear from her husband, if you will. Her husband, her dad, those are all your husbands. He's the house band of the family. And if you're not married, your father is the husband of the family, the husband. They've been given different titles these days. House band. He's the house band. He bands the house together. Yes, he does. He has to. We have to do that as men. And I ain't ready. I ain't been ready all my life, and I'm about to get ready because my house band has been God. I didn't have a father growing up. God, like Annalisa, had a very busy father. And God, like Annalisa, Jesus Christ had a very busy father, and he's God. He became flesh. The Word of God became flesh and dwelt among us. And if the Word of God is miraculous, it says, be healed, you're healed. He says, what his words say, happen. So I'd like to tell you a story in LoveView that occurred that I began to practice speaking over and over again what I wanted, over and over again. And it got old. I got everything. I got a Lexus. I wanted a Lexus. I wanted a woman, one girl, one woman, 35 years old, and I was 4, 6 years old, maybe 2 years older than her. I didn't know her from Adam. On 9/11, the towers went down. I was driving across the country in a big rig, delivering easy dumps. Isn't this great? And I'm like the chiropractor to teach movement of the bowels. If you only understood how important it was. And I'm delivering easy dumps. After I learned all about the bowel from being I would lay my hands on people that a doctor was treating. And I would just lay my hands on them and let them rest. That was my job. While they had a speculum inserted into their bommy bomb stir with water and oxygen, filling their sigmoid portion of their colon first, and then their descending colon, and then their transverse colon. Now, what did we skip? We skipped the splenic portion of the colon. Why? Because water goes through, but it doesn't stay and remain in the splenic portion of the large intestine. It goes through, but it doesn't stay until the 7th day. Actually, it's the 8th day. This is what this colon therapist, Dr. MD, doing colon therapy in California, and a DSC, a doctorate of science, taught me about what's happening in the body. I would see things come out of you and I you could not believe. Parasites, moving, white ones, thick, like a freaking white worm, disgusting. And then the bodies of parasites over 2.5 feet, 2 or 3 feet long, they wouldn't come out. You could figure, if they're that big, until they were dead. Cayenne pepper, habanero, ginger, skullcap, lobelia, St. John's wort, apple cider vinegar, all these things in the body at the same time are aerobic building, which parasites of that nature are anaerobes, and they do not live in oxygen. And the environment burns them up. They can't survive without mucus surrounding them that they make. They poop out, and it oozes out of their skin, mucus of these worms. 2.5, did you hear that? Feet long. So we're making a movie script right here, right now. Everything we're sharing is getting filtered by AI to tell you what I've done in my life. And the guy's anonymous, so only you guys know. So when this comes out, I'm not putting my name on it. I'll put something different on it. And if you guys support me and help me in any way, believe me, I need the emotional support, just you guys watching me, because nobody else has ever watched me. I haven't done it. People would cut me down, my own family, on my friends on Facebook. Well, my family did. My family, it was like a fight. It was horrible. It was sick. So going through that, I gave up on that, came to YouTube and went to other friends, went to other people, and God blessed me. You won't believe what happened. You ready for this? Parker Stanberry is a law firm, and they told me I need an agent after I shared my story with them of what's happened. With Annalisa sharing with me that she was in a military facility as a 4-year-old. And then later, because of what happened the day that she told me, they found out. They found out. Through her 4-year-old life, stepping in and putting her hand on an arm of a 4-year-old friend of hers that she'd known. You know how 4-year-olds can be. They can be really close. And when something comes up with Annalisa, she had spiritual training early on with the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, as well as God himself ministering to that girl. And she told me the story, and I'd like to tell you now, but there's like other people's lives, you can't tell what you can tell about your life. You can tell about your life as much as you want. So that's what the law firm told me, since I told them. Because of laws that protect privacy, someone could sue me if I tell you too much about their lives. But I can tell you, Woody Harrelson walked up to my right shoulder, and I was blind in my right eye, but it looked just like my left eye. It looked fine. Right now, it looks horrible because it atrophied over these years. Since 2009, when it occurred, in 2010, when I met Woody, it's atrophied in the last 6 years. For several years, I had plain looking like I look, but blindness. So Woody comes up to my right shoulder because I was dating his manager. Now, if I go into too much more, they could sue me. Can you believe it? I don't know if I could tell the whole story here. So LoveView, I have to get their permission. And the person I dated was literally, Gene Angelheart. Gene, I'm just telling the story. I mean, you love me like a friend. I'm sure you're not gonna, but I got to be careful with how much I share. So I'm dating this beautiful woman at 43 I was. She was 53. She looked like she was 33. I mean, she exercised and swam in the ocean, her own ocean front. Jeannie baby.
How much you got?
Well, I think I got about 400,000 I can give us.
Right?
Right? I could give us 400,000 if I get paid. But out of that 400, we got to make $1 million. Deal? And we're doing it through property, increasing the property of people there. Right around you guys. Let's go. I know how to do it. We'll do it real good. And Woody, your place, bro, you got to let me work it, man. You got to let me make a design and colors. Oprah's house is down there with all this beautiful stuff with horses. I can tell you that. That's common knowledge in Maui. Everybody talks about what work they did on Maui, if they want. So if you guys want to come over to Hawaii and you want to do a retreat, I don't know how many of you are on here, how many of you will see this, I can take you on a tour, or your own tour. I won't go all the way around the island and show you, but I can have my driver do that for you. And you and I sit back when you come for a delicious group of teas that you will taste from all over the world with ginger, but also sweetened with the best sweets. Yes, sweets, sweetened with sweets. Tea sweetened with real butter, caramel. Do you know how you put butter and caramel together that makes your bowel move without sickening it? You use butter from the cow and ghee, fresh raw milk. You get in a state that's licensed for it. Then you heat it, so it's then heated and you can sell it, I believe. Now, I may be wrong. If someone wants to sue me, they can sue me. Anyhow, we are here, and in Maui, you can come on a tour. I only need 6 people. I'll give you the greatest places to stay. You can stay at 3 different places. You can stay in a different place every night if you want. It's very simple. So I got a system for your bag, the size of bag, the amount of clothes I want you to have, so you can do a movement program there, and you can go to people who are licensed to do colon therapy, or if you don't want that, I don't want you to have that, but it's a great experience. It really is. It's a torture chamber, but it's best to use food to move your bowels, like Cascara sagrada, senna leaves and pods, Oregon grapefruit, aloe. Those are the first diet in the Bible that told you these are the foods I give you. We pulverize these things into powders at Grants Pass, Oregon's Pacific Botanicals. So I don't really see many people more being added, but thank you so much. Maybe some of you are gone, maybe some of you are here, I don't know. But I really use you to talk to tell you this, and think in my head of all the people that could hear this later on. So right now, there's a practice in Virginia that's mobile. I go to universities and to other chiropractors to teach you what the body's doing. And I place my table out with my documents that show you I'm Virginia board certified by the National Board of Chiropractic and the State Licensing Commission of Virginia. They're not the board, the national board. who gives you your board exams and secures your position as a passing score in the boards that you require. The states are these run by people that aren't even doctors. They're yeah. So get real. What right do they have to make? They don't have any right to make laws. They have only rights to write, not make laws, but write statutes, codes, judgments that have been tried in court according to constitutional law. Now, many days that's not what's happening, especially in the medical field. Now, we know that there's a lot to discuss there, and some of that stuff may get you killed, right? Well, here I am on video, and here I am in a book, and here I am out here, and here I am talking to people, and you all know out there who would do the killing that you'd be a hired agent, wouldn't you? Because the boy's responsible that want to kill doctors that teach you how the body heals itself of cancer, how you heal cancer in your body. How many times does it happen? They don't use the word heal, they use spontaneous remission. Well, God, how many of them? You had cancer one day and you don't have cancer the next. You have cancer 1 week and you don't have cancer the next week. You have cancer 1 month and you don't have cancer the next month. This happened in 200 plus cases with a doctor in Brawley, California. And then he murdered the doctor who took the patients out of his practice. You want to help with that court case? Nobody else is. It's Dr. Edie Koenig, poisoned, given a cis form or a trans form of a German protein that she ordered for him to use for her because it was basically a protein gathered from green leafy vegetables. Many of our drugs Hoffman and LaRoche make, Gilroy is a city they own for the growth there of the fields to make sulfa drugs. The first sulfa painkillers were made from garlic in Gilroy, California. Sulfites. So when we get down to it, we have to own the resources as people. You own the resources. This is a government of the people. You own the government. By the people. You own the government. For the people. For you. By you. Through you. You own the government. Now, if the government owns you, then that's communist theory. We can do either, right? Whatever we want. We are the people to decide. Now, if we don't have a decision to make, that's different. And that's coming, though, with Jesus Christ, and it's coming with a Mahdi. It's coming with the Messiahs. One that says he is and isn't, and one that has been and will always be, forever be. That's a fact, Jack. You can say, well, that's what you believe. But dude, I'm earnest, and I only share sincerely. There's an Mahdi coming. You can read history. You can read experiences. You can read the Quran, and you can read the books that were written centuries before Jesus Christ came. So, Allah is Ayah, Ayah. I am who I am from the Old Testament. Now it's up to you. It's not up to you. It's up to you to hear what I'm telling you. Is the Old Testament God Allah became Jesus Christ. Now the Heavenly Father is Eloah. Remember the Elohim in Genesis? That's plural. That's many gods of one God. Our God is one God. But Elohim is Eloah, singular, is the God of the Old Testament's Father, our Father, the Almighty, the beginner. Allah, Ayah, is the God of the Old Testament with those who wrote the Quran. The Torah becomes a man and comes here and lives for you. That God of the Old Testament has a Father that didn't create like they created through the words of God, became flesh, became that God in the Old Testament. The words were alive. They popped out on the 10 Commandments, stone, written in stone by electricity, man. Look what AI is doing. Look what your phone's doing. Look what code's doing by locking these iron, baridium, and selenium, and zirconium, and copper, and phosphorus, and nickel in your phone, silicon, chips, locking their typing, their marks into it, just like the stone years ago was popped out. I mean, look what we're doing. Look what people are doing. What the hell do you think made the first person come out of the dirt of the earth? You're called Dirt Man, don't you know? Dirt Man, humus, soil, dirt, soil, dirt man. Dirt Man. Don't call you a dirt bag. You're gonna have something on you. Don't let nobody call you that. You ain't a bag of dirt, dog. You dirt man. You make bags of dirt. You carry bags of dirt and put them up when God, Allah, Ayah, brings the water. Who brings the water? The flood that can kill us at any minute if we're at the wrong place. On Maui. Dead. 700 people died in 10 minutes, 11 minutes. How many died in the earthquake that hit the middle of the ocean? Rumbled back to Maui with 6 foot. Completely covered. People were sleeping down there. I got drowned for a little while, but it wasn't anything like Japan. We were laughing at what we got, but Japan, they were dying, and we were brokenhearted, and we were traumatized because the same water came our way that came their way. And during the same time, we had water disappear way out 1 mile to 3 miles, and we saw all these fish jumping on the ground, and we're like, shit, it could come straight back on us right now. We better run. And it only came back a little bit. Some of us didn't run. We stayed there like they did in the videos where they died, the same hours that they were dying over there. We were experiencing what we were experiencing. Happened right between both islands of Japan and Hawaii. At least it was said that it did. But then listen to this. I studied the coast on Google Earth. You can look under the water. At least you could when I did. I'll tell you that story later. What I found. Wow. Well, I'll tell you one thing that I found at another time. I studied a lot. Where Guantanamo Bay, Cuba's video that I saw after I found these things, right? No, I'd seen them before, but I just passed over them because I thought, well, that's just the way Google Earth made the pictures happen. As you're looking at new camera work, but then later I was able to scroll under the water and see like perfect pictures. Google Earth had this. I haven't been able to use it since I called my friend at the Pentagon. Now listen to this. This is a story. Annalisa told me we're going to tell a story to Mel Gibson about our life. We're going to pitch a movie to him. So I didn't get to share it with her, my story. I started telling her my story. And guess what? The same woman that told me this miracle doesn't want my friends. We don't need them, she says. So it's like, well, this is my life. She wouldn't listen to me tell her about my life. Annalisa Tucker. So why don't you all friend her on Facebook and tell her what I'm doing. And I'll put my YouTube. These videos are private now. I don't even know if I can put them up there. So I have to learn. But AI could probably edit them and put them up. It made it. AI's making it. But I don't have permission to make this on YouTube, I was told, until I had 500 subscribers and 1,000 or 10,000 hours of... I gave up on that because this is my job. With individuals, I teach you. I share with you. And I did this with Bruce Lipton. First, he did it to me. He's a cell biologist from Berkeley. But then I did it to him. I had certain, doctorate level education before I went to doctorate school for chiropractic. I had a doctorate level in religion, really understanding people in, not religion like religion, but in practical, what's called worldviews. That everybody has a worldview. And I went to doctor training in worldviews after my undergraduate, which I have 3 degrees in evangelism, 1 in Old Testament and in New Testament. But evangelism was about people. It was about listening to a man tell you who he met that day, Every single day, he told us, for 1 straight hour. These incredible stories of walking up to people and talking to them. Sumner Wemp was his name. And he taught me, and I listened to him for 2 years, every day, for an hour a day. That's Liberty University education. Man, it gave me an education. George Bush Jr. came to see us and speak to us. George Bush Sr. the year before. Newt Gingrich the year after George Bush Jr. And here I am in the middle of all that, with my father-in-law being the chief of collections of the IRS. I didn't know that he was when I was dating his daughter and when I married her. I didn't know what that meant to us. He's an IRS agent, my wife said. I said, well, okay, IRS agent. Well, no one talked about, my family they just had their money taken out of their Westinghouse and Bell Telephone. My mother had 2 pensions and worked 3 jobs, and she married. Man, my mom was smart. We ate so good. We had big mansions to live in, and they were used houses, if you will, but they were gorgeous, man. Anyway, but they did have the floorboards taken up in the basement so she could put them in the furnace to keep the house warm. Had no floorboards, and my oldest brother had to come along and pour concrete, take those boards out, put a new foundation in. That's 84 Pennsylvania Avenue. That was my house I grew up in. So we're about to go back down there and offer Tina Velko a whole lot of money for that house once we get paid. So y'all with me? I'm in Sports Illustrated. I could tell you about it, but it's not about me. Why I brought that up is because my sister-in-law, Tina Velko, my brother, they supported me something serious. They helped me every way they could. They supported me in high school football, college football. And then I went on to arena football. Now I know this is getting old, but AI is going to turn this into Pennsylvania. This is after LoveView. LoveView is about me meeting Woody Harrelson and Eddie Murphy. Hey, homie, remember 1998, 2:30 in the morning in your gold 4-door Mercedes-Benz with the dealer plates, dealer license on the back, covered by was it like black and silver gold, black? I think it was black. Anyway, that gold Mercedes, you pulled up to a light. There was a white van at Union Station, the light right outside of the Union Station. Eddie, come on, man, let's jog your memory. I'm leaving Dr. Edie Koning, who was on Tom Brokaw, ABC News Nightline, in 1986. In 1998, coming down to Los Angeles to fly to Chicago to talk to a boy named Michael, who builds hyperbaric tanks, I thought, for me, because I told him about hyperbaric tanks, which Dr. Edie used on my brain. So did Steve Young. A lot of people got hyperbaric tanks. Dr. Edie treated my brain by treating every tissue in my body simultaneously. How do you do that? You feed them, creating 5 functions. Elimination first, assimilation of nutrients second. Reproduction of the cells happens naturally after those 2 primary functions of every tissue of any living thing, noted by chiropractic and naturopathic medical philosophy. Chiropractic and naturopathic medical philosophy teach you environment first, before elimination and assimilation can occur, to create cell reproduction, to create DNA function. DNA can't function unless you have the proper environment. So you change the environment first and get yourself out of the sick place you're living in with the cupboards full of sinful food, I tell you. How do I know it's sinful food? I'll tell you. Because some of it's put in there on purpose to sicken us as people, done on purpose. Take my word for it. By people who know. But the companies who make it, they don't know. They don't care. They just know it's softening the dough or doing some other thing to it. All right, boys and girls, we have to fix my hair and get me on TV. Do you know why? Because I want to help everybody know how you use this little toaster, I call it. I know it's a waffle iron, and how you put your lemon peels right there. You let them sit there. And what does that do? Now this, I put chocolate in there with oil to experiment. If I'd smell it, and I do. I smell chocolate when I get up there. I gotta clean that. I gotta take these glasses off, unless I'm reading your names, and I'm really thankful for you guys that have come. I'm Ernest Antolik, and I had severe CTE. I was married to Susan Elizabeth Strauss when I did, and they called it, oh, we don't know what's wrong with you. So I'm really glad to know you guys now and be able to do this kind of work and make a film, if so, God willing, or a cartoon, cartoon. I don't care. I don't want to put all that work into it, but if somebody does it, I'll come along, and I'd love to do voices. Meow, meow, meow. My mother said you got to bring your money home from school. No, she didn't, but I did when I was little. Anyway, this is a very personal story, but there's so many people in it. George Bush Jr., and why did he act the way he did with me? it was stupid, man. It was stupid as stuff. Jerry Falwell told me at football practice, elder Jerry Falwell, not the one who's, gotten in trouble. That's the son. He didn't do what his father did. For me, especially, his dad changed my life. Just coming to practice, just talking to me, just preaching 3 times a week to me, just asking me to preach for him. At a couple local churches to the youth to start out, but also to address for Jerry, when he couldn't get to every church that he wanted to, that built him up from the beginning. So he told me, he didn't ask me, he says, hey, Aaron, if you want to come down, we'll be coming across the back tracks. And that means down to where the graduation ceremony was held, on the baseball parking lot, the baseball stadium parking lot. The railroad tracks were along the back of the baseball field. We were cramped between railroad tracks and interstate, not an interstate, a state road, Virginia, but it had 4 lanes, believe it or not. Can you believe it? And down in Virginia, you don't have more than 2 lanes or 1 lane everywhere. 2 lanes, let's say that. 1980s, you still had some places that are now 2 lanes, I'll bet, out in Bedford and whatnot. So Jerry Falwell is the owner of the moral majority. He starts this, getting presidents elected, responsible for how the Southern Baptist Convention is going to vote. It's filling multiple states. So he had them in his love, in his preaching, in his teaching. And they brought him to the White House to talk. And so he's at the White House, and he comes back and he's talking to me and other people. We're his best friends and buddies, but we're only going to be there for 4 years. We don't see it the way he saw it. But since my father-in-law at the time, he's sure he knew, because George Bush Jr. knew, was the chief of collections investigating the Iran-Contra scandal. And George Bush Jr. was on a bordering state, and the governor of the state, owning a major business. All those businesses and everything they investigated. And my father-in-law was the chief investigator. He hired Ron Brown. So those of you who research all this will see that I'm fantastic. I'm fantastic. I'm telling you, I am fantastic telling you this material. I have so much to tell you, I can't even. Annalisa told me and woke me to the fact that there is something I'd like to tell you. She wouldn't listen. So I'm telling you, I met Annalisa Tucker. She told me, we're going to pitch a movie to Mel Gibson. After she told me on the phone, I know who you are. It was an automated dollar I was working for called, it's Amazon software that the owner of Zillow, the maker of Zillow, created Zillow with the software. Then she sold the software. And it was an automated dialer that called 170,000 people in an afternoon or something like that. And in a week, you could call 750,000 people and leave them a 3-minute recorded message. Well, I got a job because I couldn't afford the franchise of the software. I didn't even know what it was. They wouldn't even tell you. They were real secretive, and you had to qualify financially to even hear the pitch on what the material was that they owned. So my job was, and I got qualified and I disqualified because I had a $380,000 school bill at the time, and I chose not to pay it because the Constitution of the United States says there shall be freedom for doctorate level public servants in the United States. They don't pay their school bill when you're a doctorate level public servant. So I held to my guns, and God has richly blessed me. So I couldn't get a loan to start a practice. Where am I at with this story? So I went over to Maui later on in life, but way back then, my father-in-law was investigating the Iran-Contra scandal, and I have all this to tell you. Annalisa Tucker, yes. I am doing that job on the automated dialer that called Annalisa Tucker. She left her 3-minute message on the phone when I started working for them. It was my job. And for 8 months I worked getting the emails, turning on their recording that the company emailed me. And these two guys are Matt and Orlando Diaz and Graham. So now you could, find them out there. They would appreciate your publicity, looking after them and what they're doing online now. But they sold the software. And the right of the software, which the software had, I have this wrong, had rights. And for it to be legal for them to market this material with the commission of whatever it is. Anyway, this is the information that I'm putting together. All my job was to qualify the people and set an appointment with Orlando and Matt. That's all I was to do. And I did that. Man, I could make $1,700 in 10 minutes, in 5 minutes, if I was successful and that person bought a franchise. And in the first 18 people, I sold 2. And they only paid me for 1 because they said, well, we're going to work with this guy and make sure he doesn't want to purchase the extended software package. So when he did that to me, I did 2 out of 18. He said, how did you do that? These people have taken in 3,000 people, and they just barely sell 1. That's the average. They talk to, and it takes, but if you sold it, but what they were doing was I think he was paying them, crediting them toward owning the franchise if they just called the people back. And so they had so many people that these people were only getting 30, and they only had like 7 of us doing that. But out of it, they could get an extra, $100,000, $200,000 sometimes with, I think he had 30 of us. That's what he had. 7 that I knew that I was able to, learn about and know, that helped me and disqualified me because my finances weren't right. That's where we were. So I meet Annalisa. She's one of the people. She leaves a message. I listen to it. 3 days before, I said, God, I need a wife in 3 days. No joke. I said, I need you in my life, but you're not enough. I need a wife. And it's true. You need both. You do. Unless you're gifted or you're strong enough. And I'd like to be strong enough because I haven't been married since that time. I tried to marry her. So guess what? This girl gets on the phone. I call her up. But first, I listened to her voice and I said to myself, while she was still talking, something. I couldn't even understand myself. I was so excited. Then, when I was done listening to that voicemail that she left, which was my job on those emails, to listen to the recorded messages of people who answered the automated dialer that said, hey, 3-minute message, and they got 3 minutes too. And I listened to their 3 minutes, and I listened over and over again to what they were listening to, that message, so I could become better at picking up where that lady left off. Not only that, but going in where she was with them, not pick up where she left off, but help them create the vision that woman created for me. And that message was so good. It was the top of the line message. It was an actor. I don't know. She was so good. So Annalisa ends up being the president of Peru's granddaughter. And her mother, Sonja Boyd, at the time, married for the second time, but Sonja Tucker after her maiden name was surrendered out of love. And Annalisa's father, you should see what he did. He wrote The Tortoise and Whatever in the New York Times. It's about Annalisa and Jamie. It's a story about them. James Tucker is his name. They didn't put his name on it, but put his pen name on it. Now, this is a great story. I know it's long, winded too, but Annalisa Tucker's grandfather, there's a story about that. Now, I'm keeping that private right now for those of us who know what that is that I've shared with already. And some people misunderstand things. And I can make the story as much as I could light-hearted wisdom of heaven that he would give me. But when I start off talking this story of Annalisa's, mother when she was 4 years old, it's delightful to those who processed it, to see who she became and who she is now. But she watched her family be gunned down as a 4-year-old. And the people who did it were forgiven. I mean, it's in the past now. And it's in the present in my speaking about it. And we know that those people are responsible in the high courts of heaven for what they did. And they are not known. And this is hard because true forgiveness occurs through people who love you. And I'm sorry that I'll never get the opportunity to know you, who you are. If some of you are still alive, some of you are family members, I'm thinking, who are younger, still alive. And I love you, respect you, I honor you. Your families had to go through a ton of stuff. And Annalisa, I guess because I made this live and I told this story, I'm just telling the story. Doesn't the news tell the story of what happened to people's lives? So I'm here and I'm telling the story on it. I'm doing the best I can. You told me we were pitching a movie about your life and my life to Mel Gibson. You worked in Los Angeles. And then I told her, guys, you won't need. She says, we won't need them. She didn't say you. I'm saying to you guys, you won't need these guys, she says to us. I'm saying to us because, hey, you're helping me get this story out. She didn't help me get my story out. I mean, she told me we're pitching a movie to Mel Gibson. It's going to be about our lives. When I called her back, I get on the phone and I talked to her a little bit about, the automated dialer that called her. I said, I'm giving you a return call back, following a script. I don't remember what it was, but it was good, and I was good. I really worked the people into simple stuff. If you just have a script before you, you're just reading it. And I personalized it a lot. I went off of it a lot. And to Orlando and Matt, they said, no, you'll never, how did you do that? They said, you got 2 sales, and I just was totally honest with people. Everything I knew, I told them, and they wouldn't tell me everything. I didn't even know it was software franchise. All I knew is what the script said to say. But then as I started learning, I was asking questions. I called the qualifier back. So anyway, this software was sold, and it's AI all through and through. And what it allowed you to do was to market. So I got one. So nobody's watching right now? Are you serious? I don't know. Well, I'm going to stop this right now, and we'll go into the rest of it later, but I got 1 like up there, a thumbs up. So AI is going to take this and run with it. So I'll just stop here. Annalisa's dad wrote The Tortoise and the Hare. Annalisa's mother was the president of Peru's daughter, who was murdered in a coup before Annalisa's mother, and the same people raised her who did this. So forgiveness is in the air. I mean, God in heaven. It's just this happened in the scriptures. The Bible's full of this. And the books that cover the history of the Jewish people that have been written, those who escaped the last persecution of Israel and lived in South America, the Nephites and the Lamanites, have history of these types of stories. So, and they were in Peru, and those are their offspring, Annalisa's family. Isn't that something? The original people who came from Israel, who inhabited Peru, are Annalisa Tucker and Jamie Jetson's Tucker's family. So what are we at? 61 minutes. Are you kidding me? Well, it's wonderful. Thank God for it. And AI, help me write this story, man. It's an incredible book, and we'll make the character anonymous, since we have no viewers right now. And this is private video anyway. They haven't heard all this. God bless you guys who were here and may have subscribed. Thank you. I'll make some more videos about the BODY, the movement of blood, lymph, and nerve plasmas throughout the body. This brings us life. Movement, baby. Move it, move it, move it. They'll move a little more. Bing, bing. Bunk Productions. Boinky, boink, boink. Productions. Boink Productions. Boink Productions. Boink, boink. Product.